is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right?
Very.
So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Oregon is headed to the Super Regional. Big Ten champions, your Oregon Ducks.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck athletics.
The grass sure is green in Eugene. Dan Lanning, Will Stein, Tosh Lupoy all signing contract extensions today. What a great day. A Friday around the University of Oregon campus where we can say that Athletic Director Rob Mullins announced today that those contract extensions are finalizing as we speak. Extensions have been approved by the UO Board of Trustees, funded through athletic revenues, including donor funds. Coach Lanning's agreement runs through the 2030 season, while the extensions for defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoy and offensive coordinator Will Stein run through the 2027 season. Dan Lanning sticking around, huh? You like to see that after he's gotten off to a 35-6 overall start in 3 seasons as a head coach, the third most wins among FBS head coaches during that stretch. And he's a first-time head coach. Been a lot of fun around here with the play on the field, the recruiting, and a lot of it comes from those 3. Congratulations on the contract extensions. More details on GoDucks.com, but you get the idea with these 3 coaches that'll be in Eugene for a while. We're going to talk men's basketball today, a lot of it because Oregon wraps up the regular season on Sunday against Washington. Brian Fish, Oregon men's basketball assistant coach, as well as TJ Bamba. We're talking with them today and getting ready for a busy weekend around Oregon athletics, Jane Sanders Classic. Oregon baseball's on the road at USC to begin Big Ten play. And how about Oregon lacrosse yesterday? A 17-16 win over San Diego State. The Ducks trailed 5-0 to start the game. Ended up winning 17-16 over San Diego State. Outstanding for Oregon lacrosse. The first 5-0 start at home in a while for the Ducks. The third ever 5-0 start to the home schedule. And Oregon begins Big Ten play now coming up for Oregon lacrosse. Also some good news for men's basketball today. Oregon center Nate Biddle, a top 5 finalist for the 2025 Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Center of the Year Award. He's averaging over 13 points and 7 rebounds and over 2 blocks a game, just under 2 assists per game. Has been excellent. A top 5 finalist for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Center of the Year Award. Fans are encouraged to participate in fan voting starting today. HoopHallAwards.com, the fan vote for Nate Biddle. We can help Nate Biddle win the award. And he might be the best center in the country. Just looking at the numbers, what he does on both ends of the floor, he might be the best center in the country. Now we'll find out down the stretch what happens in the month of March. Certainly has a lot of bearing on these things. But boy, Nate Biddle has put together a great season. And congratulations to Nate. Being a finalist for that award is a big deal. All right, let's get ready for basketball. The Ducks heading to Seattle tomorrow, and then we will have an 11:30 pregame on Sunday because it's a noon tip-off when the Ducks face Washington, also televised on the Big Ten Network. And then the Big Ten tournament's here, postseason. Brian Fish, Oregon men's basketball assistant coach. We talked with him this week after Oregon has put together 6 straight wins. Playing pretty well, huh? Brian Fish here in the Country Financial Studio. We were just saying before we hit record here that coming off a win is always a much more fun interview. Brian Fish, Oregon men's basketball assistant coach. Hey, look, I asked you, hey, can you come on? And I think that it was just good juju, Coach. You got the win for us. Thank you.
I had zero to do with that win. I'll tell you this, the players have found a groove. Obviously, coach is known for getting his team to play well late in the years and stuff like that. That's his DNA. But at the same time, Nate Biddle, to me, the sign of a good player is when he has a bad half and comes back and has a good game.
Sure.
And Nate is starting to string some of those together. Jackson didn't have the game he wanted last night, but yet jumps up and hits the shot and then makes 5 or 6 free throws. Good players understand the game's 40 minutes, and they can still put something together if there's 3 minutes left, 8 minutes left, or 20 minutes left.
Sure.
And we've got some guys who are doing that, but I don't want to discredit this one. The defensive mindset that TJ Bamba's taken on, and then Bam and Raheem have followed into the identity that TJ has set defensively has really, really helped us.
Boy, I mean, so that one sequence, and I was talking about this on the broadcast with Luke, where, I mean, he turns Galloway back 6 times at the top, right? Like, that's what you're talking about.
Because anytime you're watching a basketball game and you see a guard bring it up with his back to the defender, he's eliminated half the court he can see. And the other thing is he can't think as clearly because he's got to protect the basketball. So whether a fan doesn't see that or understand that, that's huge, because when a guard can face you up and cross you over and give you the wiggle and get by you, that opens up the court. And TJ's forcing the guys to see 30 to 35% of the court instead of 100% of the court.
Boy, it makes a huge difference.
Huge. It's a third pitch for a starting pitcher.
Right.
It just separates you.
Yeah, and he's one that Coach and I have talked about where hasn't been to the NCAA tournament, and now down the stretch wants to be able to get there. So many guys that it's a big opportunity here down the stretch.
Yeah, saying you want to go to the NCAA tournament and doing what you got to do to get to the NCAA tournament sometimes never meets.
Sure.
Coach has a saying, everybody, the first day of practice, everybody's excited. Who's excited, on March 5th?
Right.
And, you're around us in a constant travel and things like that. Now, winning always creates that, but they even take that away, the vibe, the spirit right now has been enjoyable. And I thought it started, Coach changed the narrative during our little skid there, and we just wanted to get better because we thought we didn't get better for a couple weeks there. And, we didn't beat Michigan State, but you can honestly say we played better. We got better. And then the things started to turn, and the guys are playing with a lot of confidence right now.
And in your years coaching, like it's easy to say, right, just get better, but when the wins don't come, that can be difficult, right? I mean, how do you handle that as a staff to just keep the course, I guess, for lack of a better phrase?
Well, first I would say this. Our staff's been together a long time.
Yeah.
So when you start adding up the numbers and the things, the amount of games that you've been with Coach Altman and things, there's not a lot of things we haven't seen as a staff. So we have very open conversations, disagreements or things like that. And the ultimate thing is we always know that at the end of the day, Coach Altman's making the final decision. So, but I just, in this day and age in basketball where it's just changed immensely every 2 to 3 years. It used to be every 10 years.
Right.
Did you play on TV? What do you have this? Everything's always changed. This thing's changing every 2 to 3 years right now. We could take another big change if this, revenue sharing gets voted. So it's changing. And you've got to go from the shotgun approach just the rifle approach and focus on getting better and doing the little things. And I think Coach Altman is a master of that. And, I think, I've said this for a while now to my friends, in this day and age where you put 2 or 3 guys in a lineup that weren't here last year and they want this, they want the attention that Oregon's gotten, it takes a while for Coach to get his hands on them to buy into what's got to be done to do what the past Oregon teams have done.
Well, and a lot of teams, as you alluded to, have gotten so good at the end of the year.
Yes.
You've been around for them. I know every team is different, but how does this keep happening, Coach? I mean, it just seems like – so to put this in context, that was the 74th win for an Oregon team in the month of March since Coach Altman took over. in the month of March. That is the most wins of any program in the entire country in the month of March. I mean, the numbers are there to back up the late season success that's continued to be a trend.
I don't have 74 wins as a head coach, and he's got that in March.
In March.
Yeah. So, it's not a healthy thing probably, and Riva would probably be the first one to say this. Coach pours everything into the team.
Yeah.
He has his grandkids, he has and his family and stuff, but he pours everything into his team and to figuring it out and doing those things. And I think coaches, he just studies it all. And I thought last year when we changed, we moved our zone up a little bit. It had an effect. I think this year one of the things that's having an effect is we've had more days off this year than we've ever had, and I think this team has responded to that. Coach puts a great deal of importance on the team, scouting reports and doing some things, and I think they're buying in. But more importantly, this day and age, and I think this is important, I think guys get bored now. And I think you have to keep reinventing the wheel and keeping them excited. And they get bored of winning. They get bored of losing. They get bored of travel. They get bored of the Nike gear. All these things that you and I would get excited about, they now, because they have access to this, they have access to everything. And I think, keeping it fresh and doing those things. And I just told a friend on the phone that I thought it was brilliant what Coach did. I mean, we've had a lot of days off, and it's kept it fresh and kept these guys engaged and wanting to get better.
It's really amazing. You think about just maximizing the time that you have. Right?
Yeah. If you go into this, you used to practice, okay, and that was your day. Now these kids, they meet with the managers to get shots up. They lift individually. They do these things. These guys are much more detailed through an entire day. Back when I played, now I was a bad player, but your 2.5 to 3 hours was all you played.
Right.
And now it's a full-time day. And, a lot of them, because of our travel, most of our guys are in online classes, so they have more free time. And we're fortunate that we got a lot of guys that do well in school. So they pour a lot more into basketball now, and guys come by and watch film and do some things. So it's a give and take. You can't coach the team the way you did 3 years, 6 years, 15 years ago. It's just different.
And 15 years from now, it's probably going to be more different, to your point, right?
I'll be out of it by then. I'll be out of it. I'll be one of those guys. I'll be one of those boosters wanting the head coach fired.
Yeah, and then that's one thing that's never going to change, right? Is there's always going to be the fans that are passionate. That's ultimately the point.
Yeah, that's yeah, and it is. And I want to say something. The last few games, our fans passionate and how loud it's been, and Matthew Knight and stuff has inspired our team, inspired our staff, and it's been fantastic. Yeah. The student body's been out going crazy, and it's been a lot of fun seeing everybody bought into it.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. It does, because we all have an ego. And winning soothes some of that ego, but also seeing fan interest. And we had a thing that did the other day, and some people come by that were less fortunate, had some bad things in life and some things they're dealing with, and our players interact with those guys and do those things and see the connection of what they do and how they get in the team. That's what gets your team going nowadays.
It's amazing to think about, just you go through that routine, as you alluded to, right? And guys are playing and focusing, and then you get that moment of, this is pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Everything that's around.
Yeah.
That's
it's like
powerful.
travel. There's almost only so much bacon you can eat.
That's true.
On the team on a team buffet, It's like the first 2 trips, man, it's like 12 pieces of bacon.
Right.
I'm down to 2 and a piece of toast now because it's just worn out.
Yeah. Do you rank bacon like Coach McKenna does?
No, he's the official. He's got the Ken Palm of bacon
He
out.
does. He really does.
Yeah.
Brian Fish joining us. I wanted to ask you about Nate Biddle's defense and just – he had 4 blocks again the other night. I mean, it's just amazing to see how much – I keep using that phrase a lot. It's a good thing when the broadcaster says amazing a lot over the course of a period of time. And, I mean, he had 4 blocks. He's changed a lot of shots this season, hasn't he?
Nate has first of all, I would tell you this. I was worried how we would replace Dante
Sure.
because of his impact everywhere, locker room leadership, desire to win, affect the game. Nate coming off an injury. Nate and people, again, need to understand going from the 8th hitter to the number 4 hitter is huge. And Nate has adapted to that, not getting many good pitches. He's affecting the game by his defense. He's affecting the game by his ability to score at 3 levels. His maturity has grown. It's a kid that's going to graduate in this, in the spring. So there's a lot of growth there by Nate. That's fun to see. Nate might be a dying breed of a guy that's been 5 years at one school.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fun to see. And then being a kid from the state of Oregon that it means so much to. Can't say enough good things about him because he's, not to throw, pressure on him, but when he plays good, we're a different basketball team.
Assistant coach Brian Fish. He's talking about Nate Biddle, and again today, if you're just joining us, one of 5 finalists for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award, the Center of the Year nationally. Announced today, Nate Biddle, a finalist. Pretty exciting. When we can come back, we continue with Brian Fish, getting ready for the Huskies on Sunday. March is here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you.
We're back in the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. So we continue our conversation here talking with Brian Fish, and I just have to give everybody a warning. We've had some great Ducks helping Ducks moments, maybe none better than the one that you're actually about to hear and see coming up. Spencer Steer helped us out, pro Duck, playing for the Cincinnati Reds. And I know you're thinking like, wait, Joey, aren't we talking to a basketball coach? Why are you bringing up a baseball player who played at Oregon? Well, you're going to find out. Part 2 of our chat with Brian Fish. KJ Evans the last couple weeks, man.
Fantastic.
Whew, you
Fantastic.
look at those rebounding numbers, that can really add some depth to the team.
You know, it does, but it's again, it's the internet world. You know, the internet has him, as a freshman, one and done, or this and that, and all that stuff. And he's had to grow, and he's gotten better. And to his credit, he's probably spent a lot of sleepless nights, not happy with the way he's playing. But at the end of the day, the hard work is paying off for this young man, and you're watching a guy turn into a very, very good player right before us because, but he's putting time in. He's getting extra shots. He's doing a lot of extra things, and he's kept the right mindset. And at the end of the day, his numbers are reflecting, and it's like every time he comes out, he's in his rotation, he's had 3 or 4 rebounds, and it's and then that's just changing things.
I want to ask you too about the other Oregonian as we continue with Brian Fish talking basketball. Jackson Shellstad hit the only 3 in the secc half the other night, and boy, was it a big one, wasn't it?
He's had a knack to do that.
Yes.
And we had a kid one time at K-State named Anthony Bean that had a knack for doing some, Anthony Bean one time was 0 for 16 in a game. He hit a game winner, and he's like, well, hell, if you'd have made one before that, we wouldn't have had the game winner. But they don't think that way, and Jackson has the ability to, have a night that we're not accustomed to seeing from him, and just jump up. And I don't know what you said it was with 30 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a deep shot, and when he gets that balance under him and does those things, and and to come in there and make 5 out of 6 free throws late and stuff, and to do those things, he's growing up through a lot of playing time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes guys grow up with not playing as much. He's growing up. There was a time there in the league where teams were being incredibly physical with him on the ball screens.
Right.
And doing those things, and he keeps adjusting. He keeps doing some things, and he's a fantastic player and an unbelievable kid.
Boy, and you think about just the shots that he has made. You mentioned the knack for it. Like, as a coach, that's such a balancing act, right? Like, you want him to shoot him, and it's
Coach might get mad at me for saying this on TV, but that wasn't the play.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay,
like.
that wasn't the one. It was designed, but it went in. But again, it started with his freshman year against Michigan when he hit it there, and does that, and that's a great ability. Some guys have it, some guys don't, and he certainly got it. A lot of guys ride emotion. He kind of stays even, and he's fighting through things now where if the game ain't going right, he's still finding a way to impact the game.
Yeah, huge deal down the stretch. All right, so I don't know if fans have noticed, but you've used a lot of baseball comparisons here.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you are a big baseball fan.
Huge.
So I actually put something together for you.
Okay.
So check out the monitor here, because for a long-time Cincinnati Reds fan, we had to call in a favor with some Ducks helping Ducks here.
There we go.
What's up, Brian? This is Spencer Steer. The legend Joey Mack told me you have been a Reds fan for a while now, so just wanted to say we appreciate your support. Looking forward to hopefully a really good year here. I think we got a really good team, so excited to watch you and the boys make a run in the March Madness tournament as well. So once again, I appreciate your support, my man. Take care.
Love it. Well, I hope the cortisone shot worked. He had that a couple days ago in that shoulder. We got to get it working,
That's right.
Okay?
That's Spencer Steer, everybody.
So we got to get that working, because you talk about a guy that goes to the ball game with 8 gloves.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, he's I'm not in the locker room, so I don't know, but he sure jumps out to wherever they put him. He runs out there and plays it, and it's just fantastic. I mean, he's a heck of a player, and but we got to get that cortisone shot hopefully helped.
Yeah. So the basketball in general has become much more positionless, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Baseball's kind of moving that way too, with guys like Spencer Steer.
Yeah. No, I always say this. My analogy is when we all played Little League baseball. First day of Little League baseball, the coach used to say, "Hey, run out to what position you want to play? First base, shortstop." No one ran to right field.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's kind of the way the basketball's played. I mean, if you said, "Hey, run to where you want to play," is he running the 5, the 4, and stuff like that. So it's a positionless game, and it's made it a better game and things. But that's it's part of the juggling of this. But Spencer Steer, boy, what a great player for the Reds, and just everything you would want. And again, I don't know him or not met him. That's unbelievable that he did that and you got that done. But that's he's first base, he's left field, he's third base, second base, DH. I mean, he goes and just looks at the lineup card and runs out there and plays, and that's how you win games.
Well, as good as he is a baseball player, he's an even better guy. So all I did is I said, "Hey, look, Coach Fish is going to be on. He's a big Reds fan. Can you just give him a shout out?" And Spence, within a day.
That's That's
sends it
big
back.
time. I mean, I live and die the Reds. I love them. You know, this is our year.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, mark this was March 5th. This
5th.
is our year, Joey.
This is it.
And I actually think we're really good. You know, we don't have $380 million deferred in payments. we kind of play as we go along, pay. And but I really like our team, and we got that superstar in Ellie, and I think our pitching staff's deep. But again, I think a lot of it will fall on Spencer Steer. I really do.
For your enjoyment over the summer, I hope you're right. Okay.
Oh, I mean, right now I'm a Reds, Colts fan, you know, and stuff. It's
need the Reds to be good then.
Yeah, we need this. We're a little erratic at the quarterback spot right now, and so we need the Reds to be good, and I think we are, and I think we will be, and I think this is our year, and I'm so excited because I always used to say hi to Terry Francona when we go down and play Arizona and stuff, and you know, and all those things. So to get that Hall of Fame manager, I've asked you on the bus a lot. Yeah. How much do you think that affects? Because I'm wanting you to say 20 games.
Yeah, sure.
When you win 75, you need about 15 to 20. But I'm excited about it. It's you know. It's one of the exciting things. NCAA tournament, baseball starting. Yep. I mean, what our baseball team scored 35 the other day.
35 runs in a game. That's right.
Yeah, we've had halves. We haven't scored 35. So
well, you'll like this. So at one point, when USC had 29 points on the board at Matthew Knight Arena, the baseball team at the same time had 29 runs at PK Park.
Yeah. Well, I had to worry about the ERA on that other team we played because it's going to be hard to bring that down. Yeah. You're going to have to pitch about 1,000 innings.
Balloons a little bit, for sure.
It's, no, it's, you know, I was sitting there today walking in and from parking, and I was looking, and I was like, you know, the athletic department and the success of the football team and our women's team and our baseball team and all those things and stuff like that. It's like, you know, you go to a lot of schools and you have one team get to a tournament and it's like, yeah, look at that team. It's like if you're not here, you're the lone soldier. Yeah. And, you know, I think that's fun.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun for you in the radio.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, our football team, you know, they went in and won the Big Ten first time through. Yep. And, you know, we've got a lot of programs that are successful, and it certainly creates an inner competition in this athletic department. It makes it a lot of fun.
Oh, you know, I couldn't have said that any better myself. I say that this show is always so much easier, much like coaching, when you're winning, right? But when all these teams are winning, it's a good thing when I'm like, what do we talk about today? Because everybody's doing well. You know,
hey, I was watching McNeese State play Stephen F. Austin the other night, and they were down 25 with 12 minutes to go. They had to talk about managers.
Yeah.
Like they had run out of things to say, and you know, you got to be creative on. They were talking about McNeese State managers and stuff, and I'm like, oh boy, they got to get 12 minutes covered here. But you know, it's. You know, it's a lot of fun, and it's neat to see coaches pulling. You know, we have a lot of the ex-football coaches here that were under Chip Kelly at our games.
Yep.
And
John Neal was there.
Yeah, John Neal, and you know, all those guys, and to see those guys there and the love of Oregon, you know, and see Mr. Kilkenny, and obviously him and Mr. Knight had birthdays last week, and to still see what they're doing and their love and stuff, and to see some of their vision that, you know, Rob and the athletic department had, it's a lot of fun because don't take it for granted. It's not happening everywhere.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right, now, well, one thing that it will certainly also help everyone's enjoyment is a lot of wins in the month of March. It's just some keys down the stretch. What's going to take for the team to be successful?
Well, first and foremost is health. You know, it's the uncontrollables, you know, of health, and that's number one. You know, continuing to play inside out is number two on that, because we've, you know, that allows us to get the third side of our offense, and when it does, our numbers are very high on that. Again, on the other end, the court, continuing to have guys buy in. I thought last night in the game, if you watched it, we double-teamed the post and walled up as good as we had all year and put some double teams without guys splitting them. And we looked physical at times last night. And I think TJ has done that. You know, I was really happy we didn't lose Luke Good last night. I mean, we've had a tendency to lose a shooter. We didn't. So buying in defensively, our rebounding numbers have been very good. So again, you know, it's nothing that's big. You know, you don't have to have your personal best in the 100 this week. You just got to do the things you do well, and that's 3 sides on the offense, continue to play inside out through Nate, defensively continue to be physical, stay healthy, and knock on wood, and that's the keys.
He's Brian Fish. Coach, thanks for coming over.
Hey, hard to believe it's March 5th till I got asked to come over. It's one of those deals when you're like, man, they've gone through everybody. I think Blake, our secretary, even did a show, and
Blake would actually be the best interview.
Oh. Well, first of all, she'd get us all fired. That wouldn't be good. I mean, she sits in there and she keeps people from walking back and stuff like that. No, she's the best. She's the toughest 100-pound girl you've ever seen, but yeah, she'd be good. And I'm honored to get over here. All the gear and all the stuff you have over here, and just it's neat. And again, thanks to all the fans. The support has been unbelievable. Thanks for all that. Let's have a good March, but you're going to have the women's team you're rooting for. Hopefully you'll be rooting for us and things like that, because this is when memories are made.
This is the time. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Brian Fish, awesome guy, as you can see. And I was really glad. I want to say thanks again to Spencer Steer for helping us make that happen. I mean, Spence was awesome. Sent it back to me right away and was like, oh, yeah, this is great, Ducks helping Ducks, and Coach Fish, this is a true story. He will sometimes just turn around on the bus if I'm sitting behind him. Hey, did you see what the Reds did today? Like he is a huge, huge Reds fan. So I was glad that we could make that happen. And he and the Ducks now, final regular season game on Sunday at Washington, noon start, 11:30 pregame. We'll have it for you here on the Oregon Sports Network. And when we come back, a guy who joined us yesterday here in the Country Financial Studio. We sat down and talked with TJ Bamba. That's next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Jan here. Spring is in the air. Time to get back outside with a new Toyota.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends March 31st. Toyota. Let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Jan here. Spring is in the air. Time to get back outside with a new Toyota.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends March 31st. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I envisioned a whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Yesterday here in the Country Financial Studio, TJ Bamba joined us. A great 2-minute life story talking about his career and getting ready for March Madness with the Ducks senior TJ Bamba. First time that TJ Bamba has joined us in the studio. TJ, hey, thanks for being here, first of all.
Of course.
Thanks for making the trek over. And, you know, shout out to Daniel for making the trek over as well. It takes a village. We appreciate the effort getting everyone over to this side of the river. Now, you have not been briefed, I understand, on what I'm about to ask you. So just bear with us.
Mm-hmm.
We always ask the first time someone's here, you have to tell your 2-minute life story.
Okay.
The goal is to get as close to 2 minutes as possible. And I will tell you that Jackson Shellstad still has the best record of any men's basketball player. Last year he did it in 1:58 flat. So
His
we
life
need
story,
it.
I bet you he left out a bunch of stuff.
He did leave out a lot of stuff in 1:58, I can tell you. So the goal is to get as close to 2 minutes as possible. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, let me think about it.
Okay. Take that second.
Yeah, just scheme things out a little
Yeah.
bit. All right, yeah, I'm ready for it.
All
I'm
right. The
good.
2-minute life story of TJ Bamba. Go.
TJ Bamba, from the Bronx, New York. Grew up in the Bronx. My mom, she had a job in UMass, so I used to go back and forth. I remember when I was 7 years old, my dad, he Muslim, he decided to send me to Africa, Senegal specifically, West Africa. So when I was 7, I feel like this is the turning point of my life. I went over there for 3 years and a half, and I learned the Quran. The Quran, which is the holy book in Islam. I'm Muslim myself. It took me 3 years and a half to do it. Met a lot of people, went by myself. It was a whole new experience for me, a culture shock in every way possible, but helped me become the person I am today. It shaped me. Went back to America after, moved back to New York. When I went back to New York, getting back adjusted to the American culture was extra hard now because I didn't speak no English. Everything was a culture shock. I didn't really know what was cool, what wasn't. Started going to school at Kipp Middle School, right across the street from my area where I'm from, which is Cortland Avenue in the Bronx, right by 161 Yankee Stadium. Started playing basketball around, like, I say 9th grade for real. Didn't really take basketball serious until 10th grade, if I'm being really honest. Just played around in the park. You know, New York is a big street ball state. So fell in love with the game through a couple of my best friends, childhood best friends. 9th grade year, I met my trainer, mentor, one of the closest people in my life, Kenneth Robinson. I met him through one of my other closest friends, Ty Foster. Ty Foster was one of my coolest friends that actually motivated me to start playing basketball serious. Him, Brandon Hendricks, Muhammad Toure, a bunch of other people in my life. Some of those people that I named passed away, so rest in peace to them. Went to Colorado after my 9th grade year of high school, which I started in the Bronx, New York. So went to Colorado from 10th grade to 12th grade, and since then I just took off. I started to take basketball serious. Woke up at 5 a.m. Thanks to my high school coach, Jay Calloway. He taught me what the grind really looks like, along as other people as well. I remember 12th grade year. Wasn't really getting recruited crazy throughout high school. Washington State offered me. They believed in me. Kyle Smith and them. Went to Washington State as a freshman. It was like a whole new turning point for me in my life because, you know, college is different from high school, so I had to relearn the whole game basically. So went to Washington State. Fell in love with Washington State, Pullman, the community, the area. They helped groom me to be who I am today, basketball-wise, person-wise, everything. Freshman year, waited my turn. Junior year was a lot to take off. Took off from junior year, got a little buzz around my name. I remember I entered the transfer portal, tested the NBA waters, decided to come back to school, transferred to Villanova. Villanova went, and then after that, I'm at Oregon. And that's where we at now.
304.17. You've got a life story.
Bad.
No, you've got a life story, TJ. So I was going to ask you about being a well-traveled person. You are a well-traveled person, right? Like,
yeah, I am.
All the different places that you've lived. Just what's that been like? How much has that shaped you as an individual?
I mean, for me, I feel like it's prepared me for a lot in life because, you know, like, in life, life is all about meeting new people, experiencing different things, and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, because I feel like when you're uncomfortable, then that's when you know you're doing something for yourself as a person, you're elevating, you're getting better. So going to Senegal, I feel like helped speed that process up, because going from living with your mom, your family, like, you know, as a kid, that's what you're used to. Every kid's dream. I mean, you know, a kid is a kid. But going to Senegal by myself for real, to go to a boarding school, to learn the Quran, to learn about the religion, and that's a super mature decision. Even as a kid, like I had no say for real. My parents are gonna make me go regardless whether I liked it or not. But I feel like that's something like kids don't really do nowadays. So for me to go and experience that helped shape me to be the person I am today, because it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me what I can endure, what I could go through. It taught me that certain feelings that might not be comfortable in the moment, like leaving my family, being sad that I'm not gonna be with friends, I'm not gonna have the regular childhood that everybody has for in America. It was sad at first, but then I got over it. So it taught me that everything comes and goes, even feelings. I learned a lot of I learned a lot at a young age in terms of like just how much knowledge I took in from whether it was school, whether it was about religion, everything. And I think that expanded my mind and allowed me to be open to anything.
When you're such a mature guy now, I feel like you had to be mature at a young age. Like you've grown up quickly, haven't you?
No, I grew up super quick, and like I said, since 7, moved by myself out there to a whole different world. So that helped. And then coming back to America, just getting myself back integrated within the community of the Bronx, and like just learning the nuances of how to live life on a day-to-day basis. That was like a whole new it was a whole new curriculum that I had to learn.
Yeah.
So going through that and relearning that, it helped show me that like you could go from knowing something to not knowing it to knowing it again. It's just about what you put your mind to. So then as I got back comfortable with the community, I started to really see basketball was a big thing in New York. Basketball was a big thing in New York, and it took me a while to get myself into it. But with the help of friends, it sped the process along eventually. Like before, I just used to play for fun. But then I realized, you could really take the game somewhere.
How did you realize that? Was it when people were telling you, no, TJ, this could be really good for you?
Nah, nobody ever told me that, because at the time I was really bad to the point where it couldn't have been good for me. You know what I'm saying? No, this is never gonna be good for me. At the point in time where I was at, it wasn't that for me for real. So, but what helped me realize that was just sometimes it's not about what you go through as a person. It's about seeing what other people around you go through. And I seen how basketball was affecting and changing people's lives in a great way. Like it made them more happier, it made them more focused. It allowed them to look at life in different perspectives. And I wanted that for me because I ain't found my niche in life at the time. Like as a kid, I ain't know what I really wanted to gravitate towards. I ain't really know what I wanted to do. So seeing other people do that definitely helped inspire me. So when it did inspire me, I remember just watching random highlights on YouTube, but just N1 basketball, Bowler's life mixtapes. Kyrie Irving was a big help in my process of me just getting to go and play basketball and deciding to do it. So just seeing that and seeing the art of it, I fell in love with the game like that. And just I take basketball as poetry. It's like poetry to me. It speaks to me. It's something that calms me, relaxes me, and where I'm at. When I'm playing basketball, I'm at a state of peace of mind for real. So,
TJ Bamba, we're going to get a timeout, come back, continue talking with the poet on the basketball court that is TJ Bamba on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Back to the Country Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer.
That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Stock Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon facing Washington on the men's basketball court coming up on Sunday. Men's basketball court. It's kind of a court no matter what. In the men's basketball world, Oregon facing Washington on Sunday at noon. And we continue our conversation with TJ Bamba. Talking about poetry, I'm sure that you've gotten a lot of comments. Coach Altman was very complimentary just coming off this last game of one moment in particular where you're actually just, completely turning a guy around like 6 times. You know what I'm talking about? When at the end of the game, I mean, the defensive mentality that you have, TJ, just how big of a deal is that for you? How much peace are you at when you're on defense? Maybe I'll put it that way.
Man, I feel like I'm at a super peace because it's like that's me in my element, just causing havoc for the other team. I take pride in that. I feel like defense is all about heart. It's all about effort, and it's all about energy. So that's something that everybody could control, The game of basketball is about controlling what you can't control. You're going to miss shots. You're going to make shots. You're going to miss shots. But what you can do night in, night out is play defense, show effort, show heart. So I feel like, I just try to bring that to the team. Like, we have a bunch of scorers. I myself have scored over, like, a lot of different points. Jackson, Nate, Keyshawn, Jadrian, Tracy, Brandon Angel. We have a lot of dudes that can put the ball in the basket. But for me, I just try to go out there and just do that and also create a different type of way to impact the game, which is on defense.
And the defensive energy that you've brought. I mean, Coach Altman has said it, like, you can really set the tone. And you take a lot of pride in your defense. I know I've heard you say this before. You and I have talked about it a little bit before. Like, that's a big part of what you're after out there. You're smiling as I'm asking you this.
Yeah,
defense is a big
I'm smiling because it connects to my childhood for real. Like, growing up in the basketball parks, like just being outside, Dykeman, Rutgers, regular courts outside your block or whatever. Yeah, it's mano y mano. That's what we call it, man versus man. So it's like if you're going outside and you playing and somebody going at you one-on-one and you sweet, you're not going to feel too good about yourself that day. So where I'm from, we take pride in getting stops. Like, I'm trying to say guard your yard. So that's me. That's just the way I was raised for real. Like, it's instilled in me. So to this day, that's still in me. So I just take pride in, like, yo, if somebody try to go at me, I'm taking that as disrespectful. Like, I need somebody, like, when you see me on you, I need you to pass the ball.
Yeah. I mean, I got to tell you, like, as someone who just loves watching basketball, right? Me, and I get the chance to travel with you guys and just see that mentality. It's so fun to hear, I think, someone talk about how much pride they take. Because, look, the coaches will tell you all the time, like, everybody wants to score the ball, right? But when you can get a highlight reel on defense, that's a big deal. I mean, you're one of the tops in the conference in steals, and then that defense down the stretch here, TJ. How big of a deal is that going to be for the whole team, you and the whole team here, to be where you want to be at the end of this month?
No, definitely. I mean, since summer, Coach Altman has always preached, like, having a top 30 defense, like, being, like, setting that as a goal for ourselves. Because, it's easy for us to think offensive-minded and for us to, like, want to be offensively driven. But the teams that go far in March, the teams that win games, the teams that have won games here have all been good defensive teams. So, we're all older group of guys. So I feel like we're all bought into that. And down the stretch, as you guys have seen, like, the last 6 games and hopefully you can see moving forward, we've just been trying to show a better effort defensively and just trying to stay getting better each and every day.
go back a little bit and tell us a little bit about why you did decide to come to Oregon. Duck fans are certainly glad you did, TJ.
Nah, for sure. I mean, I'm glad I did too. It's been an amazing year for real. But I decided to go here because Coach Altman, for like being at Washington State, every time I played against Oregon, I respected their game. Like, I respected the game plan. I respected the way they've played. I respected how well they were coached. So I always just remembered that. So when I entered the portal, I remember the first time, they reached out to me, but I was like set on going back closer to home because I ain't been back closer to home for forever.
Sure.
And so the second time I went in the portal, I remember him calling and showing a lot of interest. So it was something that I couldn't just say no to and turn my head to. So I started to dive into it more and like do my research and like ask questions and look at the roster. I'm like seeing the potential in guys like Jackson, KJ, Nate. I always knew it was another level in him. And then like you had great pieces like Jadrian and Keyshawn. I played against him at CU, so I'm like, all right, like I'm kind of familiar with some of these guys, so I'm like, I could come in here and know what it's about already. Like, it wasn't me taking a big risk because the proof is in the pudding. Everybody know who Coach Altman is and what he's done and how he helps elevate people's games.
Now March Madness here, and I've been – so these are things that I talk about all the time, that since Coach Altman took over, no team has won more games in the month of March than Oregon. You all just won your 74th game, by the way, in the month of March since Coach Altman took over. So down the stretch, just how excited are you to play in the postseason in the Big Ten and then continue here for the next few weeks?
I'm super excited, man. I mean, I feel like we're improving at the right time. And every team wants to improve around this time of year. So I love how we're improving at the right time. I feel like we all got the same mindset and just trying to get better and play for each other and just do whatever it takes to win. I feel like that's a great sign as a team and where we are. And me personally, I've never been to March. I've never been to March Madness, nothing. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. This is my last year, so it's do or die for me. And going into the Big Ten, it's a lot of teams that like got the better of us at a certain point in the season. And I feel like going into the Big Ten tournament, they'll see a different version of us.
TJ Bamba, so glad you decided to become a Duck. It's so much fun to watch you play. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming over. Thanks, TJ.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
It was really awesome just catching up with TJ Bamba, talking about where he came from and why he's here. And, that's a guy that Coach Altman always talks about down the stretch of their careers now. These games start to mean a whole heck of a lot. And that defensive energy that he brings is really something else. Looking at the entire weekend schedule when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Duck baseball on the road here tonight. 6:30 the start against USC. Ryan will have a 6:15 pregame for you coming your way from Irvine. I almost said LA, but it's really from Irvine based on where they're playing, USC, that is. Also of note, Oregon softball, the Jane Sanders Classic getting underway this afternoon. Men's and women's tennis are in action as well, and Oregon acrobatics and tumbling faces Gannon tonight at 6 o'clock at Matthew Knight Arena. Mentioned men's basketball hitting the road, noon start on Sunday. But on the baseball front, the guy who's getting the ball tonight, he talked to the media this week, Ben Blevins, and actually he just emailed me. This is so funny. I'm going to tell you all that story after we hear from Grayson Grinsell, pitching tonight for the Ducks against the Trojans.
How you feeling, Grayson?
Good. Excited for this weekend. Excited to be down in SoCal, so it should be a good weekend.
What was it like to watch all the youngins out there go out and play?
Good. I mean, it's nothing different than we've been seeing all fall and winter. I mean, guys go out during scrimmages, same as they did today, and go out and shove, and guys at the plate were doing what they do every day, and they mash, so it's good to see.
What do you think the overall preparedness level is for you guys going into conference play?
It's same as it is for any other weekend. I mean, we're going to do the same amount of film, same amount of scout, and prepare every day at practice like we do every weekend, so.
What's your self-scout? What have you seen from yourself so far, and what do you want to improve on going into this weekend?
I mean, USC's a good team, just last weekend beat Vanderbilt. I think they're close to the same record as we are, so they're a good team, got to be in, ready to go.
And for you, what do you want to improve on?
Just keep building on what's been going on in the season. I mean, go in ready to go, give us a good start on Friday night, and keep it going throughout the weekend.
First time you guys got to go on the road this weekend. Just what are some of the challenges involved with that?
It shouldn't be too bad this weekend. Similar to Pac-12. I mean, playing a former Pac-12 team, so similar travel shouldn't be too bad.
Grayson Grinsell gets the ball tonight for the Ducks facing USC in Irvine. And again, a 6:15 pregame show coming your way with Mr. Milano. It's also on Big Plus down there from the Southern California area. These are the fun emails that you get while you're on the show. Our buddy Ben Blevins, I just get an email just now that just says, so do you have all the antennas that you need? The answer to that question is no. I never have any or all of the antennas that I'm going to need. I have a feeling that Ben's listening. That's like a good 2% joke that I just made for everybody. Have a great weekend. Go Ducks.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only